month of November 2025, and welcome to our bulletin tonight, the Friday Wave. My name is Chemutai Kirui and my director tonight is Lucas Ouma. But first, before the bulletin, we have to look at the highlights. Now, President William Ruto, during his visit to Machakos, reaffirmed his government's commitment to inclusive development as CS Kipchumba Murkomen unveiled new safety strategies for Kerio Valley's landslide-prone communities. And at the courts, Chief Justice Martha Koome secured a major victory after judges upheld the legality of the panel handling a KJSC petition. Kenya also marked a historic milestone as Member of Parliament John Kiarie became the first African to lead the World Scout Parliamentary Union, and also lawyer Danstan Omari has cautioned Kenyans against exporting political activism to the neighboring states. This and more on our bulletin tonight, the Friday Wave, and my name is Chemutai Kirui. And on our top story tonight, President William Ruto has used his tour to Machakos County to firmly restate his administration's commitment to governing without bias or discrimination amid growing public debate over alleged unequal distribution of national development projects. Addressing the residents, the president said every Kenyan, regardless of region or political alignment, deserves a fair share of government service. His message was reinforced by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who assured the country that no community will be left behind in the development agenda, even as the government moves to streamline its project rollout plan nationwide. Our very own Ronel Fah tells us more in her report.
President William Ruto, during his visit to Machakos, assured Kenyans that his government belongs to all citizens without discrimination, dismissing emerging claims about the distribution of shares in Failures Nation projects.
Ndio mimi nataka niwaambie, msikuwe na wasiwasi. Mnasikia watu wengine wanajaribu kushindana na sisi. Lakini wanajaribu kushindana na sisi wakiwa hawana agenda, wakiwa hawana program, wakiwa hawana maono, wakiwa hawana agenda, wakiwa hawana mpango wao. Kweli mimi nataka niwaulize, si mmewasikia wa jamaa wale wa shares ati wanasema hawa wako na shares, hawa shares yao ni kidogo, hawa shares yao ni nyingi? Sio ni ujinga? Hii serikali hapana ya watu wachache, hii ni serikali ya Wakenya wote. Ama mnasemaje jameni? Si mimi nimetengeneza serikali ya broad based ya kuleta Wakenya wote pamoja. So mimi nataka niwaambie wale majamaa wanajaribu kushindana na sisi, watu ambao hawana, na unajua ukiwasikiza watakuja hapa, mtawasikia watakuwa tu na maneno tatu. Watakuja waseme one term, Kasongo must go. Hiyo ni ujinga, si ujinga? Ni ujinga, si ujinga? Mambo ya barabara hawajui, mambo ya stima hawajui, mambo ya KMTC they don't know, mambo ya kuunganisha stima ya wananchi hawajui.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki emphasized that no part of the country deserves to be sidelined in the development agenda, saying the government committed to ensuring that every region, whether rural or urban, receives investment, service and infrastructure without favorism.
Hakuna sehemu ya Kenya inapaswa kuachwa nyuma kimaendeleo. Kuna watu walikuwa wameanza siasa mbaya hapa nchini Kenya ya kujaribu kutenganisha Wakenya kwa minajili ya kikabila na minajili ya misingi mbalimbali. Na nchi yetu ni nchi moja, na serikali ni moja, taifa letu ni moja. Tunahitaji kila sehemu ya Kenya, kaunti zetu zote 47 sipate maendeleo sawa sawa. Ile maendeleo inaendelea Western ifike hapa Eastern, ile inaendelea Rift Valley ipite pale Pwani, kwa sababu nchi yetu inahitaji umoja, na njia ya kuleta umoja sio kwa mdomo, ni kwa matendo na usawa katika maendeleo. Ni kweli, si kweli?
Cabinet Secretary Mtua also stressed that Kenyans have long suffered from political tactics he described as a political poverty strategy which have used citizens as a stepping stones in politics without offering real solutions in their lives.
Kwa muda mrefu tumedanganywa, niseme. Tumedanganywa na mpango wa kuambiwa tungoje. Mpango unaitwa Political Poverty Strategy. Wakwambia watu kaeni hivyo mgoje. Kwa kikambo unaitwa vomwe na vayetwa. Na tumeumia sana. Sasa tunataka kutangaza hapa tukiwa mtune ya kwamba huo mpango umeishia mbali. Sisi tumechanuka macho. Tunasema ya kwamba freedom is coming to Ukambani. This is the time for liberation. Hii strategy yao ya colonization of the mind hatutaki. Watu wanataka maendeleo. Because you can fool some people some of the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. Kwa Mheshimiwa Rais tunasema asante sana. Endelea kuja hapa Ukambani, utusaidia na maendeleo, ndio tuendelee mbele.
Reporting from Daisy TV Africa, I'm your own Oro Nalfa.
Meanwhile, the government now says it is rolling out comprehensive long-term strategies to confront the deadly landslides and displacement crises that have plagued the Kerio Valley for years. Internal Security Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen revealed that experts have identified parts of the escarpment as extremely hazardous, making relocation of residents the safest way forward. Murkomen noted that the state is working with geologists, disaster specialists and local leaders to craft a permanent solution that protects vulnerable families as authorities intensify mapping and mitigation efforts across the valley.
Kerio Valley is the future, and I agree. The reason why those people are near the escarpment. In fact, by the way, as a matter of fact, the people who are farming where there was a landslide are the same people. That is their land up to the highland side. So they usually go farming, get the maize and come down. So, I mean, it's unfortunate because they needed food and they could not farm on the lower side of the valley. On the lower side of the valley, we had a discussion with the PS and the president is aware of this. We will go back to have a consultation with the community. If they can agree, the government is ready to do affordable housing for them to live, and then, they can farm the rest of the land, and they can be a model community. If not, we can start with the step that the professionals led by Susan have done to establish those kind of houses. Kerio Valley is the future, and I agree. The reason why those people are near the escarpment. In fact, by the way, as a matter of fact, the people who are farming where there was a landslide are the same people. That is their land up to the highland side. So they usually go farming, get the maize and come down. So, I mean, it's unfortunate because they needed food and they could not.
And now to the corridors of justice. The Chief Justice Martha Koome has received a significant boost after a 3-judge High Court bench unanimously ruled that there were no legal grounds to challenge the formation of the team hearing a petition before the Judicial Service Commission. Justices Jalis Kiaruki, Lawrence Mugambi and Bahati Mwamuye found that claims questioning their independence, integrity and their methods of selection was speculative and lacked any credible evidence. The ruling clears the path for the petition to proceed and reinforces the judiciary internal procedures at a time when scrutiny and justice sector reforms remains high.
The tenure of the Chief Justice, who is the petitioner, hence beholden to her, and so on. In our humble view, these are mere sensational allegations that have no bearing on the impartiality of the bench. To act on such allegations will subvert the integrity of the institution and the constitutional obligation imposed upon judges to discharge their duties without fear or favor.
The discretion granted to the Chief Justice by Article 165, Sub-Article 4, to empanel a bench is a power solely granted to the Chief Justice. It is the Chief Justice and she alone who can decide the number of judges to assign a
Elsewhere, Kenya has made history on the global stage after Dagoretti South Member of Parliament John Kiarie was elected the President of the General Assembly of the World Scouts Parliamentary Union, the first time an African has risen to the top seat. Kiarie, who previously served as Kenya's chapter president and Global First Vice President, said said that his new role positions the continent at the heart of global decision-making within the movement. He pledged to champion Scout values in legislatures worldwide by shaping policies that reflect discipline, leadership, and community service while advancing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
I, with great humility, accept to come up as the president of the World Scout Parliamentary Union Global, and I am ready to take up all the duties and all the responsibilities that come with this office. I shall be depending on the great knowledge of those who came before us. We shall be standing tall because we are standing on the shoulders of great men who went before us.
Elsewhere, prominent lawyer Danstan Omari has cautioned Kenyans against exporting domestic political activism into neighboring countries, warning that such actions risk straining diplomatic relations and misunderstanding the differing political realities across borders. Omari emphasized that politics remain a profoundly local matter influenced by unique histories, laws, and community dynamics. He urged activists to respect regional boundaries and to focus on peaceful civic engagement within the country, even as questions continue to rise over Kenya's role in regional political conversations across the Kenya.
We've seen in recent times Kenyans participating in demonstrations in Uganda, demonstrations in Tanzania. Equally, we have seen some of the citizens of this country comment highly about the politics in the region. The questions that come into play is under which regime and under which law are these issues dealt with. First and foremost, the Geneva Convention that deals with issues of diplomatic relationships between countries comes into play. What does the law say? The convention completely bars other countries, state countries, from interfering with other countries' political affairs. Politics is defined under the international law as a local affair, a national affair, an affair that is determined by the territorial boundaries. For those Kenyans who went to Tanzania, those Kenyans who went to Uganda, and any Kenyan who will be going to any other country, let him know very well the law applicable. First, the constitution applicable is the constitution of those countries. The Bill of Rights that we have in this country does not apply, and it's not binding to countries like Tanzania or Uganda.
Wakenya wamengoja kwa muda mrefu kuona hatua ambayo serikali inaichukua, na hilo limewakera sana wananchi wa Kenya, na activist wote wale wanaharakati wamekuwa wakingangania kuona kwamba uhuru wa kina Oyo, uhuru wao umepatikana, lakini ni uhuru ambao umechukua muda mrefu sana kwa sababu ya hatua ambayo ilikuwa ya kujikokota. Sasa Wakenya tunahisi kwamba
Elsewhere, ODM legislator Winnie Odinga has strongly dismissed claims suggesting that the party is being sold or controlled by outside forces, insisting that the narrative is a deliberate attempt to weaken the party at a sensitive moment. Winnie pushed back against what she termed bedroom politics arguments about ODM's future and urged members to remain united as the party prepares for a leadership transition. She also emphasized that ODM's stability depends on collective discipline and the ability of its supporters to resist decisive rumors.
ODM si chama kilichojazaliwa kama siri. Nasikia kuna wengine ambao wanatembea nasi mchana lakini usiku wanajaribu kuuza hii chama. Haiwezekani. ODM was not born in a bedroom. It was not made in a bedroom. So its future will not be discussed as pillow talk. It has been the heartbeat of the Kenyan people for 20 years. ODM was born from protest. It was raised in resistance, and the people of ODM have time and time again bled, sweat, and shed tears for this country called Kenya. We are sorry that we don't always get it right. Oleni. But we will never be sorry for being inconvenient. They like to call us a party of goons. What we're doing is nation building. Nation building is untidy. Nation building is inconvenient. Nation building is uncomfortable. Nation building has left us in tears as ODM, as the People's Party, time and time again. But we, ODM, belong to the people. And we will continue growing because the young people of ODM.
Exactly 15 minutes into the hour and the exclusive Friday. The Friday Wave is taking a commercial break. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, we'll be taking you to Migori County, whereby tensions continue in Migori as rival factions continue to clash over the leadership of Bunge la Wananchi, each accusing the other of political interference and illegitimate claims to office. And also in Nyamira County, the Morara Foundation wrapped up a successful free eye medical camp that served hundreds of residents while urging voters to choose leaders who prioritize community welfare. I am Chemutai Kirui, and after the break, this and more will be coming to you on the Friday Wave. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Je, wajua kwamba mapishi si kazi tu ila ni sanaa? Njoo tujifunze mapishi mapya katika runinga ya Ndizi TV Africa. Hapa ndipo tunapika, tunajifunza, tunakula, tunasherehekea na kucheka kidogo. Ungana nami kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia mida ya saa 2 usiku katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Hapa ndipo tutakuwa tunapika vyakula mbalimbali ambavyo vitakuwa vinanukia kama vile mchuzi wa nyanya, tunapika kuku kitunguu, tunapika wet fry na vyakula vingi zaidi. Njoo tujifunze pamoja na tulete ubunifu jikoni katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Ungana nami Ronelfa katika kipindi cha Pishi Bora, tulete ubunifu jikoni.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Mteja mpendwa, ni wakati sasa wa kujinyakulia aina ya flash disk kuanzia 8GB, 16GB na vilevile 32GB. Vilevile earphones, wireless headsets, unajipatia wireless microphones tofauti kwa bei nafuu. Yale ambayo unafaa kuyafanya hivi sasa ni kwamba unapiga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606. Yote unayapata kwa bei nafuu popote ulipo.
Naam, ni wakati wa kusikiza sauti inayobeba maono, busara na hali halisi ya kisiasa humu nchini. Karibu katika kipindi Sauti ya Uongozi. Hapa tutakuwa tunazungumza na viongozi kujieleza katika hali halisi ya yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya, na bila shaka kukupa wewe mtazamaji nafasi ya kuzungumza kama mwananchi wa kawaida kwa yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya katika maendeleo humu nchini.
But after making the payment, they deleted. Now, what kind of accounting is that? Because you are supposed to maintain the details of whoever you paid so that the figures can balance.
Watu ambao wanafanyiwa sio kwamba ni wale wananchi wote ambao wako pale wanafanyiwa ile funding, ni makundi haswa. na zile pesa kufika katika makundi ikamfikia mwananchi yule ambaye alikuwa anachangiwa akapata kiasi kidogo cha pesa, ina maana kule kuzurula, ule msururu wa kuzunguka inakuwa ni kama ni null and void kwa mwananchi, anaiona kwamba analagaiwa.
If you graduated in 2016 and somebody graduated in 2020, the 2016 was to be given priority to get that job. But nowadays, members of parliament have taken over. They get the letters, they dish them in funerals, others they sell them to the highest bidder.
Kila wiki tutakuletea mahojiano ya kina na viongozi kutoka sekta mbalimbali na jamii kwa ujumla. Je, unajiuliza maswali ni kipi ambacho kinajiri nyuma ya pasia la uongozi? Basi hapa ndipo unapaswa kukaa mkao wa kutazama na kusikiza. Usikose Sauti ya Uongozi kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1 jioni hadi saa 3 jioni ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, nami Jeff Nyakundi. Sauti ya Uongozi, tunazungumza, tunajenga, tunabadilika.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Yeah, check it out.
What's up, my beautiful people? They call me Ems Manvoke, and this month on the 28th, Ndizi TV Africa pamoja na Camel Park wanakuletea chill party and talent show auditions live hapa ndani ya Camel Park, na kiingilio ni shilingi 200 peke yake per head. Alafu saidia kama umeweza kulipa that 200 Kenya shillings, unapata free swimming. In the same time, kama ni mzazi kwa pale nyumbani, unaweza leta watoto wako wakuja waweze kujienjoy. Tuko na bouncing castle, tuko na water balloons, tuko na mamba, tuko na tortoise. In the same time, unaweza kuwa na fun as a family. So don't forget, mark your calendar on this month, date 28, ambayo itakuwa na Friday. Tutakuwa na show babu kubwa. Show yenyewe itakuwa ni chill party and talent show audition humu ndani ya Camel Park, the bride of Kisii.
Eastlands, yo, we had the mic. Westlands, yo, we had the mic.
Kila jamii hapa Afrika, yani chini ya jua duniani, ina chimbuko lake. Ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, katika kujua utamaduni wako ndani ya Utamaduni Afrika, tutaangazia kila jamii, tukianza na jamii ya Abagusi ambayo iko chini ya Bantu, jamii ya Mkamba, jamii ya Waluo. Vile vile tutaangazia kuhusiana na jamii ya Masai. Tutataka kujua ni mbona jamii inaenzi, ama ni mbona kila jamii inaenzi mila na tamaduni zake, na vipi hizi mila na desturi zina umuhimu gani katika utamaduni. Utapata mpaka leo jamii ya Masai inaenzi sana ufugaji wa mifugo. Kuna jamii ambazo zinaendeleza mila ambazo zimepitwa na wakati, mfano ukeketaji wa wasichana, kitu ambacho jamii nyingi hazienzi kamwe, kukeketa wasichana. Haya yote kuhusu mila na desturi na utamaduni ni ndani ya kipindi Utamaduni Afrika katika runinga unayoienzi, Ndizi TV Africa, kila siku ya Alhamisi saa 2 usiku. Kipindi kinaletwa kwako na Mwita Peter. Usikose.
Unatazama Ndizi TV
Thank you very much for staying with us and welcome back to the Friday Wave. My name is Chemutai Kirui and now we move on with our bulletin. A major dispute has erupted within the Migori County Bunge la Wananchi following a dramatic announcement by former Speaker Kennedy Ongaga declaring the office of the chairperson vacant and calling for new applicants to take up the position. However, a rival faction led by Charles Osewe has dismissed Ongaga's move, accusing him of attempting to destabilize the grassroots platform despite having been removed from office through disciplinary process. The two groups now trade accusations of political interference and manipulation, even as they insist that Bunge la Wananchi remains an independent public oversight forum that does not pledge loyalty to the county leaders. The wrangles reportedly escalated after disagreements over financial facilitation over travel to Raila Odinga's burial, sparking fresh questions about the political influence within the movement.
After a serious discussion, we declare that the seat of the chairmanship of Migori Bunge la Wananchi remain vacant for the period of 2 weeks. We are calling for any interested candidate who can vie for that position to do submission of his or her application within a period of 1 week. And with the remaining duration, I, as the Speaker, mandated by the Bunge laws, I will take charge as the interim chairman of Bunge la Wananchi of Migori County. Will as many as those with similar opinions say hi? Hi. Bunge la Wananchi is non-partisan. Bunge la Wananchi should not die with one political movement, and Bunge la Wananchi recognize the leadership of ODM, the patronage of ODM of that county as the patron of Bunge la Wananchi. We are not dining with the governor, mark me clear, but we are working in collaboration within that county so that we can have easy social way of social audit.
Tunasikia wengine wametokeleza eti wao ni wabunge la wananchi Migori County pia na Sona West. Sisi ndio bunge la wananchi original ambao tulienda kwa uchaguzi, tukapigia kura mpaka tumeshinda. Nasitaka tustumu wale ambao wanatembea huku na pale eti wao ni bunge la wananchi, wao ni wakora. Tunaweza ita eti wakora, walagai ambao wanataka walagai wananchi hapa nje kwa sababu wanaona eti wao ni wenyeji wa town. Na tunaomba county government ajue eti sisi kama wananchi, tena kama bunge la wananchi tuko nao na tena bado tunafanya nao kazi kama bunge la wananchi, kuanzia MCA na hata wale ambao wanatafuta, kuanzia wajumbe hadi senator hadi women rep. Na tuko na haki ya kuendea kila kiongozi ambaye imechaguliwa na kura kuenda kwake tuongee naye.
They know very well that Bunge la Wananchi is a body of an activist, a body that does oversight. Are they aware that we are only Wananchi and we are not liable to any leader? We are only ready to work with any leader who is also ready to work with us. There are some people who have a lot of ulabaloos. Some of them, they call us names that we are conmen and sisi ni watu ya kuombaomba. Where do they want us to get these funds from? And they are the leaders that we elected and they have all this they have all these resources. Where do they expect us to go to? Like for example now, people are in Mombasa. Bunge la Wananchi is not represented there. And we are not happy as Bunge la Wananchi. I want to tell them that those ESAs, Mr. Governor must be very careful because there are people there inside who are only there to split his votes. We have to stand very firm as Bunge la Wananchi, and we know Bunge la Wananchi has structures straight from the county government trickling down to the sub-counties and even to the ward levels.
We have only one Bunge la Wananchi. There is another Bunge la Wananchi, but it is not original. Bunge la Wananchi, it is an independent body. We have only one Bunge la Wananchi, and we are not behind any politician. All leaders are welcomed here. We welcome all members. This is the place where we place our issues, problems we are facing in our villages, markets, town. So we are not behind any leader.
And now to Nyamira County, hundreds of residents across West Mugirango have benefited from a free eye medical outreach camp organized by the Morara Foundation, which has toured several areas in Nyamira County. Speaking during the final sessions in Kebiringo, Bonyamatulta ward, the foundation's founders expressed gratitude for the overwhelming turnout, noting that many patients had long-lagged access to specialist eye care. They urged community members to elect leaders who prioritize public health and grassroots needs, saying that the level of untreated medical issues highlighted gaps in local health care access.
My name is Cosmas Zuma. I'm the CEO and founder of Light and Doctor Initiative. And today we are here in Nyamira. We've been here for the last 5 days, and we are concluding the activity today. And we are doing the eye screening and also doing referrals, because we are partnering with Lions Hospital for complex cases. And we've been able to see so far over 2,000 people, and we have distributed over 1,200 glasses for free to our people. And we've seen the real need in the ground, and we are planning to come back here and do a major one next year and see if we can even to reach more people. Because cases here, people are vulnerable. Most of people also cannot afford to be able to get these services in private or public hospitals because they need to charge. And we've been doing this in partnership with Morara Foundation, and we are grateful to everyone who has made this possible. Thank you.
So far so good. We've been screening people, and we've noticed about some of the problems are brought by just using charcoal, and again just diseases. And what amazed me is that people from Nyamira are really in need. It's not something that we can be happy of, but it's something that as we appreciate that at least we touched a life, we made a joy to someone who was not in a position to have something. So I'll just urge the people of Nyamira to avoid looking at the screen too much for a long time. Looking at the screen is not an issue, but for a long time, bring that dryness of an eye, that causes that light, because we will notice some other people will see in darkness better in the light. So I'll just urge the people of Nyamira to also try, again, just use houses that are ventilated, because that light matters a lot. And again, to avoid using charcoal so much. You can use, because that's the situation we are in, but you avoid. Then again, you can also try to talk to the leaders here around to do the sensitization, because it's a major issue. And again, a problem with us is that we can't tell them because the language barriers.
Phase 1 tutakuwa na phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Hapa Nyamira County tuko na 4 constituencies. So hii ni West Mugirango, kwa hivyo kila constituency itakuwa na phase yake. Phase 2 itakuwa next year, na hizo zingine zitafuata. Na hii yote tunafanya sio kwa sababu ya siasa. We are giving back to the community. Sisi tumezaliwa hapa ni nyumbani, na hawa tumeleta ni marafiki zetu. Vile sasa tuliona hii shida ya macho, wakati tulikuwa tunapeana wheelchairs, wengine wanasema wheelchair ni sawa, lakini macho yangu hapo ndio hii mawazo ilianza. We looked for friends.
Fanya hii exercise for the last 4 days. Hii ndio siku ya 5 na ya mwisho. Watu wetu wengi wamesaidika, because tumesaidia watu over 5,000, na kuna around 4,000 wamepata miwani. Kutoka na wengine miwani yao imekosekana kidogo, lakini tumeweka order, wanaletewa. Sisi hatukuwa tunafikiria watu watakuwa wengi kama hivi.
Najua uongozi inategemea na wale mmechaua kama viongozi. Kuchagua kiongozi lazima mchague mtu unaona anafanya nini kwa community. Tusida inakuanga mtu anatokea tu from nowhere, anakuja na pesa, anakimbia, wananchi wanamchagua, halafu anaenda kabisa.
And now, as schools break for the long holiday period, young people in Maralal have been urged to remain vigilant and to avoid risky behaviors such as early sexual activity, substance abuse, and peer pressure. Speaking during a reproductive health sensitization forum at the Kenya Assemblies of God Church, Compassion International Director Thomas Lekilelo highlighted rising cases of teenage pregnancies during holiday seasons. He stressed the essential role parents must play in guiding their children, offering accurate information, and also providing emotional support to help teenagers make healthy, informed decisions during the holidays.
Programu hii imekuwa ya faida sana katika maisha ya vijana yetu, haswa katika kuwasaidia kuimarika katika afya ya kiakili na hata kwa ustawi wa kiinzia katika what we call mental health.
Ki generation ambao iko si generation ya kufishwa maneno, ni ya kuambia kila kitu kina baubaga, na hii itawasaidia kuepukana na mambo ya madawa ya kulevya, kuepukana na mimba za mapema, magonjwa ambao ni ya zinaa, na hiyo wasasi wanapoajibika mambo kama haya hayatatupata.
Langu ni kuwashukuru waliokuwa nasi, kuungana na walimu na pia kanisa kwa ujumla, kwa kuwa kupata chance kama hii, it's not that easy.
And now winding up, a Dutch national who had been detained in Diani, Kwale County over allegations including insulting police officers, drug trafficking and assault has been freed after a court-ordered mental examination found him unfit to stand trial. Magistrate Joy Mtimba ruled that the suspect, Elwin Tarhost, is suffering from a mental disorder that renders him incapable of following or participating in judicial proceedings. The court ordered that he be handed over to the Netherlands Embassy in Nairobi for further evaluation and support, bringing to a close a high-profile case that had drawn public attention to mental health and justice procedures.
To live peaceful and happily in Kenya, I'm sorry for what happened and it won't happen.
Brings us to the end of our bulletin and the Friday Wave tonight. My name is Chemutai Kirui and my director has been Lucas Oma. Until next time, have a good night. But also remember to stay with Ndizi TV Africa for the next program, that is the Reggae Splash with Mosinto Pius. Until next time, have a good night and be safe.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Being healthy is a strive everybody longs for. Human